Good morning, everybody. In today's video, we're going to tell you about our favorite travel and trip planning tool that we use for all of our adventures.
I've used a lot of different trip planning apps in the past, and some, like Google Trips, no longer exist. This is one application that I found works best for us and how we plan travel.
So Jared and I just got back from a 3-day weekend trip to Atlanta, Georgia. This was our first trip post-vaccination, and we were a little nervous about traveling, but also planning. So in this video, we're not only going to tell you about this travel planning tool that we use, but we're going to show you how we used it for this specific trip to Atlanta.
The tool that we use for trip planning is called Trello. Some of you might be familiar with Trello as a project management tool, especially in the IT sector, but we use it specifically for travel.
Yeah, and I use Trello a lot for work, but what I love most about Trello is it's basically like having a giant collaborative whiteboard. It relies on the idea of basically of Post-its. So you're putting ideas on a board to have a very visual planning process, and you can use it for to-do lists, workflow processes, but we really love it for trip planning and travel.
This is an example of a trip that we had planned pre-COVID for our travel to Japan. And you can see in this example that we had each day broken out by kind of the destinations we were planning on and what we wanted to do each one of those days.
So now that we've given you a preview of how Trello can work for travel planning, let's talk a little bit about how to get started. So the first thing you do when planning your travel is to dedicate a single board to your trip. We've been able to use this for 5 or 6 trips so far, and it is super easy to get started. In the video that you'll see shortly, you're going to see us making a brand new board for a fictitious trip where we start to lay the basic architecture of our board. We name it, we add collaborators, and we start to create our lists. Lists can be used for specific days or to group different types of to-dos or ideas for your trips. The board can also serve as kind of your planning space from initial brainstorming all the way through kind of helping you throughout each day of your trip and having information easily accessible.
So Trello lets you easily move and add research, planning, and really write out the trip as you want it. You don't have to follow any strict guidelines or formatting. You can basically do it however you want. Add pictures, links, reservations, however you want.
So as Jared said, flexibility is one of the best aspects about Trello. It's your board and you can do whatever you want with it. In our Atlanta trip, you can see that we chose to have kind of our logistics column where we take care of basically our airlines, our travel information, and then we dedicate a day for each trip. Because of COVID, we really wanted to make sure that we had specific dates and times laid out. But the best thing about Trello is it is flexible, so you can easily move those cards around if your schedule changes. Or you can just have extra ideas on your board to take with you and make adaptations on the fly.
Another great thing about Trello is it's very collaborative. The tool itself is meant for project management, so it inherently has to have a lot of collaboration built into it. You can easily share your boards and allow people to either view or edit depending on your permissions.
When Jared and I plan our trips, we make sure we're both added to each board, and it's really easy for us to do research on our own and then quickly share those updates with each other for planning. It's a great way to do brainstorming and get feedback on kind of what those top attractions are within your group.
Next point is it's very mobile friendly. You can easily go from desktop, which is viewable in the web, or with a desktop app, and you can easily switch directly over to using a mobile application or a mobile web view with the Trello board as well.
Trello's done a great job of making sure the interface is super user-friendly. One of the things that I love about Trello is the fact that, when I get to my next destination, and this was especially important in our Atlanta trip because everything required timed reservations, I was able to just pull up the tickets on my phone, quickly pull up the link to view the hours of all of our locations and destinations, and I didn't miss a beat.
We also reuse several of our boards over and over. For example, we go camping quite a bit. So our camping trips generally have a very standardized structure of what we need to prepare, what we need to pack, and how we need to set out on our trip. Destinations different a lot of times, but usually we just reuse that same board each time we go camping. So that way it's less work each time we have to plan our camping trips.
The other thing that's really great about using Trello is it makes it really easy to share your research. Have you ever been on a trip and you get back and your relatives and friends want to know what your top 5 recommendations are? Well, no need having to go search for all those emails and links. Just add them to your Trello board.
And another great thing about that is if you plan on going back to that location again, such as, we plan on going back to Japan eventually, you can easily see what you've already done in the past and how things worked out then as well. So there are times when, you find out things take a lot longer than you initially thought. Thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you've learned a lot and can use Trello in your next travel destination. If you had one top travel destination that you're looking forward to going to in the future, what would it be? Go ahead and add it down in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, feel free to help us out by liking the video, subscribing. Every little bit helps, and thanks again for watching. Udon wants to be part of the show.
Yes, always, right?